Now we cross over to our Arirang for Global Insight and an in-depth look at important developments in world affairs.
Thanks very much, Mark. It's time for Global Insights, where we speak to experts from around the world to hear their views on issues making headlines. The world's largest consumer tech exhibition opens in Las Vegas local time on Wednesday, and the Consumer Electronics Show is the place where all exciting gadgets and innovations are showcased by the biggest names in the industry, setting the tone for major tech trends of the year. But the mega event was forced to launch online only last year. However, this year CES is back offline, buzzing with activity, new keywords and gimmickry, as our reporter just showed us. But the scale of the event has been downsized significantly this year, from just 4 days to just 3, due to the rise of the Omicron variant, of course, and a whole list of major tech companies have decided to drop out. So will CES deliver this year, or is it losing its luster as the mecca of consumer tech? For this, we invite Professor Tuminast Erdenbold, Assistant Professor of AI and Big Data at Usong University of Korea, to discuss what to expect at this year's CES and the tech trends that are going to define the year of 2022. Very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. And well, Professor, the show in Las Vegas, of course, it opened on Wednesday, but it was preceded by weeks and weeks of anticipation and a lot of speculation about what these big companies are going to unveil to the public. And, well, what are the biggest buzzwords surrounding CES this year?
So the CES 2022, this year event is held a hybrid mode, online and offline both mode. And the definitely tech giant companies introducing their new technology prototype concepts and the vision in the technology area. And one of the technology biggest buzzword is it's under the Metaverse. It's highly emphasizing, along with the electronic vehicles, AI and robotics, autonomous vehicle, and digital healthcare technologies.
Yes, Metaverse
and I would say,
yes, it's definitely has been one of the big buzzwords, and we've heard quite a lot about it. In fact, some reporters have been complaining about the overuse of Metaverse and NFTs. But first of all, I want to ask you about the more traditional aspects of CES. Of course, TV panels, they're the standout feature of CES every year, with dazzling displays from the likes of Samsung and LG Electronics, Sony. Well, we thought that we'd actually seen it all with these bendable, rollable and even vertical TVs, but now it seems to be all about the quantum dot. What kinds of innovations are you expecting to see this year in display technology?
So the display technology, what I see is LG company from the Korea is leading in this industry. And then the most biggest inch of this OLED screen with the 97-inch introduced, both the smallest one with the 42 inches of the TV OLED is introduced, and behind the this OLED TV also the AI chips are involved in it, which is greatly enhancing the contrast and the details and more brightness of the OLED TVs. One of the interesting demonstrations into this CES 2022.
Right, so a lot of excitement surrounding Samsung's new OLED TV, the QD OLED TV, and apparently Sony's expected to release one as well. So a lot of anticipation there. And well, also, while CES was traditionally about the big, huge display panels, it's now starting to turn into something of a mobility show with cars from Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, BMW. But big names like BMW and Mercedes-Benz, they've dropped out of the show. But there has still been there's been a great amount of attention over Mercedes-Benz's Vision EQXX concept car, which was actually unveiled separately this week. And well, apparently it's not really the speediest EV around, but then what would you say is the wow factor about this car?
The EV, under the EV concept, the Mercedes is highly trying to drive out the perfect car, not only the electronics and the cheap and batteries enhanced advanced technologies, but also in order to increase the greater efficiency, used also the mechanical parts, including the aerodynamics and the materials used in the mechanical parts, so designing all these parts, they try to be more greater efficient, fastest and lightest electronic vehicle under this concept.
Right, they're really trying to knock Tesla off its game, a lot of these new EV cars. And well, during the height of the pandemic, we've seen huge IT firms and mobility firms like Mercedes-Benz finding other ways to unveil their latest products and engage with customers through very unique experiences. And that really leads to the question, though, whether CES is going to be what it was in the past. I mean, the biggest names in tech, including Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they've all cancelled their exhibitions last minute in Las Vegas. Do you think CES is losing significance?
Well, in my opinion, the CES is one of the global giant events since 1967, more than 50 years. It's a big brand name, and technology developer, manufacturing companies, they are expecting to see the new developments in the beginning of every year. So in my opinion, it will not be lose the significance. However, this time it's because of the pandemic, the new variant of the Omicron is spread out, and the health care, the strict measurements taken on it for it. But I think it will be resolved after the pandemic era into the normal the norms.
Well, you mentioned the Metaverse being one of the buzzwords this year, and well, 2021 was the year that terms like Metaverse and NFTs, they became part of our daily language. What developments do you expect to see this year?
So last year, the Facebook changed its name to Meta, and then follow up with this one. Many companies, tech companies, tend to see in the next generation of the web is it's shifting from two-dimensional web to 3 dimensions. So that's the way many companies are integrating with the Metaverse into their business strategic integration, and that's where we can see in this the CES many concepts combined with the Meta. And in this year, compared with the last year, I think it will be more concepts and business models will be developed, and business feasibilities will be more inspected along with it. And then initial phase of the Metaverse platform environment development will be start. There's a huge works behind on it, including the technology standards and the graphical designing. Huge amounts of development jobs are expecting behind on it.
Well, a lot of South Korean companies, they've been they're opening offline booths at CES. And how are they joining the whole Metaverse bandwagon and incorporating NFTs in CES this year?
Okay, well, in Korean government is highly giving the attention for the new technology developments, including the Metaverse. That's the way last year Seoul Metropolitan, the city government office announced to shift, launch the Metaverse, the pad for hub for the metropolitan area. So follow up with this, the policy, this year, the Seoul city, together with the 25 local companies, together in the Metaverse, under the wagon. It's attending in the CES. And then also in Korea, this year it's more than 400 company which is attending in the CES 2022, which is ranked as the second largest participant country in the Metaverse area.
And well, among these new technologies and among these new virtual concepts that South Korean companies are bringing to the table, Hyundai's digital twin seems to be one of the hottest talking points at CES. Could you explain what's so special about this whole meta mobility concept?
Okay, the Hyundai is last year integrated with the Boston Robotics, Boston Dynamics, and this robotics or the Hyundai is seen as the future strategic one of the important tool for especially under the meta mobility, and basically behind it, so in the metaverse environment, we could be use the robotics as a physical environment, our avatar. So that was the one of the very wonderful thing, and also the mobility together with the virtual the metaverse environment. We can be using the mobility devices in the healthcare. Also, the disabled peoples, they can be used the physical the environment with the robotics, especially the plug and drive robotic the models was the one of the interesting the item, and it can be used for the smart logistics and then transportations container, and then especially also disaster affected area. It's a portable hospital solutions able to be delivered using the mobility technology. And then addition, it's beyond the together the immersive this technology in the future. The robots can be sent to in the space such as Mars, and in that case the people from the Earth are able to be connected using the robots as a physical avatar, and then it can be even controlling not only to see it but also immersively able to be connected with the robots in the physical the environment as well.
Right, so really connecting the physical and virtual spaces together and stimulating things. It's not just going to be cool and fun to apply it in real life, but also very useful, and it could help productivity. And well, digital health, now that's been another buzzword for a couple of years now, but the pandemic's given a further boost to the sector. What kind of health tech are you looking forward to emerging at this year's CES?
Okay, because of the pandemic, now it's a new type of the culture in the society, like work from the home. It's kind of the common norms becoming. Along with this one in the digital healthcare area, devices, including the consultants, especially the telemedicine services, will be one of the practical implementation for upcoming years, because of the from the home. It will be able to be consult over the telemedicine technologies remotely with the hospital and the doctors, as well as for the health area, the fitness, the digital fitness tools, which is integrated with the TV and the smart TV technologies, are also upcoming for this year.
And well, amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, what do you think will be the biggest tech trends of this year, 2022?
Okay, so generally the CES, it's defining all new trends throughout this year, but also the artificial intelligence will be more taking the places in this year. The AI is integrated with the chip to more energy efficient, and then more the faster the algorithms able to be used in the AI. Also, the AI will be more the engaging into the factories, together combined with the digital twin and robotics technology to become the reality.
And this is where we'll have to wrap up the interview today. Of course, CES this year is going to be downsized significantly, but of course, CES is always about just looking at all the new, exciting, innovative technologies and seeing the possibility of where our world is going to go with all this new tech. So I'm sure there's a lot to look forward to. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Professor Temenast Erdenbold, Assistant Professor of AI and Big Data at Ulsan University of Korea. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.